Richer than I ever been. The richest that I ever been. The richest that I ever been. Richer than I ever been.
So DK, you referenced the core four, right? So talk to this audience about, I mean, those are critical people on your team. And you got to make sure you really trust these people, particularly if you're investing in states where you're not, right? So they have to be minding the farm while you're not there. How do you go about picking a trustworthy team? Because they've got your name on them, right? They have your money tied up. It's your reputation. So how do you go about choosing and selecting those core folks?
I would say the first thing is it starts with understanding what their jobs and their role is in the first place. Like real estate ain't something you want to go in blind. So I want to have a good understanding of what my contractor's role is. What's your budget? How much does this actually cost? I'm getting other bids to make sure like the first guy is not telling me this cost and I've never renovated a house before, so I'm trusting him and then this guy's like there's like a $10,000 difference, like, oh, somebody fooling me. So, trust but verify is a huge thing for me to where it's like, all right, I'm adding somebody to my team, but I'm gonna find out like and ask a lot of questions to them and also who they work with. So if I'm looking for a deal finder and somebody's gonna find me great opportunities. First thing I'm gonna go to is like who's some other investors that bought deals from you, and I'm gonna ask them of their experience. How did it go for you? What did you like? What didn't you like? And same things, I go down the line. And another thing I always do is I have backups at every spot. And that's not what I did early on. To be honest, when I was investing in Ohio, it was going really well for me for a while. And then my property manager, some people got laid off or left, and new people came in and they started slacking. And I had like a 6 month like gap where things weren't going as well for me because property management was slacking and I didn't have anybody else in mind because I was just kind of resting on my laurels. I've worked with them for, the X amount of years. It's going to be all good. So what that taught me and what I started to shift from there is like, man, I always have backups at all my core four spots to where that contractor start tripping or I find out he didn't show up to the job. Man, I got another guy who's um licking his chops trying to get back into the property and get started. So that's been a huge thing for me throughout the process of like making sure I have backups, trust but verify, and also make them hold each other accountable to where it's like, man, if I got a deal finder and you recommended me this guy, it's like, man, he's messing up. You the one that told me about him. So now that's making me look at you a certain type of way and holding your team members accountable like that. It's been advantageous, and I've been able to like kind of keep people accountable throughout the process.